Hey guys, welcome back to Tabletop Never Stops. It's been a little bit, but today we're going to talk about the Builder Stone Thrower for the Night's Watch. So let's get this video started. The Stone Thrower is our second war machine. It's a speed 1 unit, so it's not going anywhere, but that's okay, because it has some other abilities that'll make up for that. Its range attack, it rolls 1 dice and hits on a 3+, and if it gets in the melee combat, it rolls 3 dice on a 4+, which is, basically nothing, but better than the Scorpion, which didn't get a melee attack. As a defensive 5 up, which, not good, but no morale saves, which is quite nice. It's a standard war machine, and in the sense that, we only have 2, so it only has 6 wounds, and it can never make morale tests, cannot charge or retreat, and cannot gain condition tokens. Alright, so here's the big one. This is why we're buying this thing. It is unlimited range. It ignores intervening units and terrain, may only be used once per round, and may not target solo enemies or enemies within long range. Enemies successfully hit by this attack do not roll defense saves. Instead, they suffer d6 wounds, plus 1 additional wound for each of their remaining ranks. Kind of go through it line for line, but real quick, unlimited range attack that deals direct wounds. That's pretty great. Ignoring intervening units and terrain, so unlimited range, it can basically hit anything that it's pointed at. May only be used once per round, and may not target solo enemies or enemies within long range. So once you get within long range, which is a fair amount of space, long range is effectively a foot, so it's a foot bubble outside of Stone Thrower. But you're playing on a four-foot board, so that's still quite a lot of territory that is not within long range. And if you're playing a larger game on a larger board, so then that's even more powerful. This, any unlimited range. You definitely want to put these guys in a corner, because that creates more of the board that does not contain their little not being able to fire bubble. Since they can't target solo enemies, the wolves and the mountain it rides are totally safe, and more importantly, the giants are, which is the only real standard unit you'd bring lots of, or that you're putting points into anyway. So you're not going to be facing a all giant list with these stone throwers. You're going to be in trouble. And then they can only be used once per round, and that actually does limit them pretty significantly. If they could be used more than once per round, you want to be grabbing the sword with them every turn, so that you could fire multiple attacks over the course of the turn. And then also Night's Watch have access to a tactics card that allows them to remove an activation token when they lose a unit, which would actually work really well with these guys, because you can fire them early in the round, and then if someone killed one of your other units, you could fire them again. But of course you can't do that, so that's obviously an potential limitation, which makes me feel like the design team agrees that these guys are good and dangerous. Which, not to get us off topic, but we don't know the cost of this unit because we haven't seen the back of the card. I imagine we're looking at probably a 10 cost unit, just based at the Scorpion 7, and those guys can fire a lot further for more damage. They are a little less accurate, and maybe I guess less predictable too. Let's get to the last bit. So when you hit an enemy, they don't make defense saves, and then they take d6 wounds plus 1 wound for each remaining rank. And so units always have at least 1 rank, and if you're attacking a full infantry, it means you're guaranteed 4 wounds, and then up to from 4 to 9 for a full infantry unit. Yeah, that's right. And then for a fully healthed cavalry unit, that'd be 3 to 8. And although, so that's a little bit less automatic wounds on a cavalry unit, unless you're talking about the Outriders. Cavalry units are, of course, high defense units, and so you're going to want to be firing high defense units. And cavalry units are expensive too, and they're a threat because they're fast, so you want to get rid of them before they can get into your stone thrower. So obviously cavalry is a good target for this thing, and it could pretty easily delete a unit of flayedmen, assuming that it hits. Odds are actually, within its favor of killing it in 2 hits, so pretty dangerous. Vows are effectively useless on this unit. Of course, that's a big part of the tactics deck of the Night's Watch, and bring a stone thrower, it's going to be a big part of your army composition, so that's a little bit not great. Obviously, the melee attack one is not going to do anything, although technically it can make melee attacks. That's not, that's not what you brought this thing for. The one allows it to move condition tokens is also useless, because no one can put condition tokens on this unit, and that's the trigger. I guess you could put the defense one on it, but again, like once it's someone's in combat with it, you're in trouble. Definitely benefit a lot from also Yarwick, much like the Scorpion. In fact, really a little bit more so because this weapon is not as accurate. Only hits on a 3, so there's always a 33% chance it's going to miss. And on turns that it misses, you just brought a really expensive paperweight to this battle. So, of course, all the Yarwick has to be within long range and looking at the unit you're firing at. But getting that reroll is going to definitely really up the effectiveness of the Stone Thrower. I would say, again, although this is an expensive unit and so is like the veterans, I think the veterans work really well. They're the highest morale in the Night Watch army, so you could pretty easily fire into combat with them and expect them to be fine. Alternatively, you could run a bunch of conscripts to kind of clog up the enemy so the enemy can't get to your war machine. I would maybe place werewoods with these guys, just so like to give your, if you think you're going to be firing into combat, placing werewoods everywhere to help yourself out might not be a bad idea. Obviously, we already said high defense cavalry is a great target. Slow units are a great target. High defense units. The Lannister guards are like especially funny because even if they pass a morale test and trigger Lannister supremacy, haha, Builder Stone Thrower doesn't have a morale and cannot take morale tests. So who cares? So I said like a giants list will give you some serious trouble. I actually feel like these guys wouldn't do very good against a swarm list in general, just because, like, sure, you have, let's say you have 2 war machines, you can do some severe damage to a unit every turn. But if you're fighting a big swarm of free folk, especially in a mode where the deployment ranges are large, like they're going to be there in a turn or two, and like there's 10 units on the board, maybe you kill 3 or 4 of them, but there's still 6 units coming in. So probably don't want to face a huge horde with 2 of these guys. Maybe one's, maybe you can be all right, because I mean, odds are if you hit a group of raiders and you roll high on the d6, the odds are they're going to be gone. All right, and that's about all I can think of to say about the Builder Stone Thrower. I'm putting my money on 10 for the unit cost, but let me know in the comments what you think it'll cost, and we'll see who's right, you or me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. Maybe drop this video a like. All that stuff's good for the channel metrics, but really it also just motivates me to make more videos. So I appreciate all the support, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.